Welcome to Keep Many Live. Gosh, I got to get those guys back on. That stuff is awesome. That was Bliss Fields from Toronto with Strange Ways. I've had them on one time about 2 years ago, and then I got to meet them in person up in Pittsburgh at a show. So, really cool guys. I'd like to get them back on the show, though, and talk about that wall of sound right there. David DaVinci is on tonight. This is your third time on, and I'm excited every time because it's different. It's a completely different show than what I normally do, and I love having these little breaks in normality. Is that the right word? Normality? I don't know.
It works for me, man. Great to be back here, and good to see you, man. Since Clarksburg.
Yes, it was September-ish. Yeah, I guess it was September, wasn't it?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So I got to see you live in person. I got to hang out backstage a little bit. I was nervous as hell. I don't know why I was nervous. I never really get nervous around people that I've never met, but I've had on the show. You know, because I do this constantly. But it was different because you weren't a band. You know, you were you. And I so wanted. I had that thumb in my pocket. You know that, right?
It was like I told you, got to call it a different trick. It's
okay. The scarf trick or the silky. You know, this thing right here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have it. Honestly, I don't have it. Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. You've been doing a lot of things. We just got back from Thailand for one thing.
I did, yeah.
Crazy.
My family and I spent a whole month in Utah doing bird training things with we have a parrot training business we can talk about if you're interested.
Sure. But yeah, definitely.
So we spent a month down there free flying our parrots outside at some of the most epic locations you'll ever see. And we train people to train their parrots to fly outside and come back. And so we were home for a few days from that trip, and then straight out to Thailand for a week, and then straight back. And I can't find the brake pedal, but I'm trying to slow down.
Yeah. When do you take a holiday or just a break? But I guess that is your break, is going to Thailand and vacationing and things, right?
Yeah. The funny thing about Thailand was it was such a whirlwind. We get to Bangkok at 2 a.m.
Well, you Bangkoked onto the runway. I saw that. Definitely.
The pilot pulls out his logbook and landed 2 landings for that one. I mean, we bounced hard, man.
My goodness.
But we got to the hotel and we booked it through a travel agent, and when they pick us up, they're like, "All right, cool. We'll see you at 8 a.m." We're like, "No. The tour is not till 1," because we were going to the palace and all this stuff and going to go see the Buddha. And they're like, "No, it's at 8." We're like, "Are you our tour guide?" He's like, "Oh no, I'll be sleeping." I'm like, "Thanks, dude." So we got up early, super jet lagged, and it was just that whole trip was a whirlwind, but it was fun. You know, I get to go out there.
What is the flight time from? Where did you fly out of?
So I'm an hour and a half to drive to Spokane, and then Spokane, Seattle's an hour flight, and then Seattle to South Korea is like 12 hours.
Oh, man.
And then South Korea to Bangkok, I think, was another 6.
Wow. And you're going backwards in time too, right? The entire flight?
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny. It was my...
Uh-oh, I lost your audio for some reason. I don't know what happened. You were golden there for a minute. I don't know what. Uh-oh. Must be that Elon Musk guy with his crazy satellite. There you're back.
All right. Hopefully didn't miss too much there.
Elon.
Yeah, it was my mother-in-law's birthday on May 10th, and so we're flying over, and all of a sudden we skipped ahead to May 10th, and it was her birthday. But then by the time we landed, it was no longer her birthday. It was like, weird to have a birthday and then have it taken away. So it was we had.
Yeah, it's crazy how the time changes, especially like my parents go to Hawaii about every 2 years or something like that. Of course, the pandemic kind of screwed that up, but and so they're always, when they get there, it's like still daytime and they just want to sleep, And I was like, how does that take? They're like at least a couple of days to adjust a little bit.
Yeah, this was 14 hours time difference, so it took like by the time we were adjusted, it was time to come back, and then this was one of the hardest adjustments I've had with the time zone. And, we travel a lot. We've been on 6 continents doing our shows and such. But for whatever reason, this one was I think it was just such a whirlwind that
probably you haven't done it in a while, right? Have you not done it in a while? The travel?
Once a year. Last year, we did the Maldives.
That's right.
And then the year before that, we did Africa. So, so we're it's been a little while, I suppose.
Have you ever been to Fiji?
I haven't been to Fiji. I had a toucan named Fiji.
You and I should go to Fiji sometime. We'll leave everybody else at home, and I will watch you skydive from safely onto the ground. And I've always wanted to go to Fiji ever since they came out with the Fiji water.
Yeah.
Then I looked up Fiji on Google Earth, like I Google Earth everything, And I was like, man, that looks like paradise. But I could just go to Florida or, you know, what, the Bahamas or something, probably see the same sort of thing. But it's not the same thing, you know.
It's not the same. You know, it's the Maldives. If anybody ever gets a chance to go there, that was one of the
That
coolest
would be
trips.
awesome.
And yeah, that's awesome. But I got to talk you into skydiving one of these days. It's
I okay. This is what happened this morning. Okay, so you know, I knew you were coming on the show. You know, I've been building up to this. I had one of those. You know, you have one of those dreams where you just wake up immediately. Like normally during of a morning, you just wake up. You know, you just gradually wake up. You're groggy for a little bit, and then you just wake up. This morning was not one of those mornings. I fell from a great distance in my dream, and just woke up like that.
it's a
So
sign.
yeah, I can't see myself doing this. I can't. I just it's not.
Oh,
Humans are not made to fly. We don't have wings. You know what I mean? Like so,
you
I
know,
can't.
I I have to argue that a little bit because
I
it's
know you
amazing
do.
how I get my wingsuit in the background here hanging up.
I see it.
Uh,
Yes.
but it's amazing how intuitive it actually is to fly in a wingsuit, like just the basics. You know, to do the barrel rolls and stuff, it gets super complex, but it always blows my mind, as you say, like, you know, humans aren't designed to fly, but then when we actually get in a wingsuit and we jump, it's like, oh, I'm flying. And we kind of get it without putting thought into it. It was amazing, you know, the first several jumps in a wingsuit to discover that. But yeah, obviously we're not really meant to fly, but it's
I mean,
fun.
paragliding. I think I would rather I'd rather do, because I mean you're still up there. I mean tandem, of course. Don't put me in control of this thing unless I. Well, I mean you really don't want to skydive unless you know what you're doing either. You know that's
Exactly.
everybody does them tandem, but yeah, I think paragliding would be fun. I mean, of course, you just kind of run and start. I think usually, or from a cliff or something. I don't know. I mean, but I've looked at that. I think that would be fun because you have something flying you. You know, like something is structured there to keep you afloat. I don't know.
That's funny. Paragliding scares me more than skydiving because
I think you said that once before when we were talking.
yeah, the proximity to the ground is, you know, there's less room for air. You know, I had my first cutaway, meaning my main parachute didn't work and I had to cut away and go to my
I was going to
reserve.
ask you that if you've ever had to do that.
I finally once, and I'm at 605 skydives, and it was on like my 580th or something. I actually put a video on my YouTube channel. My mom calls me up and she's like, hey, next time you go on a hot air balloon, I want to go. She's never been on a hot air balloon,
Oh,
and
that's
and I was like, okay, and I didn't know how serious she was. So then I see her in person, and she's like, I'm serious. Next time you go, tell me, I want to go. And so I knew that I was going to be down in Lake Elsinore for some clients, and so I looked up, and sure enough, there's a hot air balloon that lets you skydive from it. And so it's like a Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm like, hey, mom, I'm going to jump Friday and Saturday if you want to come down. And so that was in early part of February. And so she flew in from Seattle down to do this hot air balloon ride with me. And so her very first balloon ride, I jump and I opened a little lower than I should have. So I didn't have as much time to fix the parachute issue that I had. And
okay.
so they give us what's called a decision altitude. And so when you go through training, we predetermine, hey, if I can't land this parachute by whatever feet above the ground that we decide, I don't have to think about it. I decided years ago, I cut away, I pull my reserve, because what you don't want is to be trying to get out of this issue and you get too low that you can't cut away. Now you have to land a faulty parachute, and that's where people break stuff. And so anyway, it's my mom's first time in a balloon and my first cutaway. So it was a
First time for
memorable
everything.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
everybody thought I impacted the ground, and so they saw my parachute hit, and so someone calls 911,
oh
and so
yeah.
the whole city's looking for me, and it was quite the scene.
My goodness, but your mom got to witness all of it
Yeah,
and be terrified that you were splat, right?
yeah. She gets out of the balloon. She's like, "Is it always this exciting?" It's like,
Well,
well,
I mean, there's a falcon involved sometimes, and
yeah, yeah,
I do want to talk about that a little bit. I do have, but while we're talking about this emergency situations in a parachute and things like that, you know, I'd sent you a bunch of questions back. It says back in February. I did all
yeah.
these because our original idea was to have you free falling and answering questions, but that's going to be too difficult. It's way too much noise, and you have to think about things like a parachute and what you know how not to go in what they call a death spiral. Is that how what it's called?
Ooh, a flat spin.
Or
Yeah.
a flat spin? I mean,
In
any
my
of those.
wingsuit, I stalled on my back in a flat spin, and
How
that's
did that?
terrifying.
Is that because it was just new to you and you just didn't do it the right way?
Yeah,
Or what
100%.
happened?
Yeah, user error. So there's different types of wingsuits. So like there's a company called Squirrel that makes them and they're all custom to our bodies.
Flying
This
squirrel?
one's it is a squirrel dot wingsuit or dot WS or something. But yeah, it's a flying squirrel suit, right? So this is like an intermediate suit, and then the one I was jumping was more of an advanced suit, and it's just bigger, it's more fabric. And so when something goes wrong, the challenges are exponentially more difficult. And so being relatively new to wingsuiting, I was working with a coach to get me into the suit properly. And basically, he told me to flip to my back, and I didn't have enough speed. So when I flipped to my back and I had my head a little high, I basically was like, picture a piece of plywood getting thrown off a building. It's not going to fly. It's going to like flop and spin through the air in erratic ways. And so that's what happened for 21 seconds. Just
How did
there's a
you get
video
out
that
of it? How did you? Because I remember the video you posted, and I hear you going or like I'm like,
oh, dude, the struggle was real. It was the most intense thing I think I've ever been through. Now, I don't remember, like in the time, I wasn't afraid. I became more fearful afterwards. Like in the time, everything slows down.
what could have
You just
been.
go, yeah, and you just kind of go through like what I was originally taught is you go into a ball and then you try to open it back up, and that doesn't work. And so other coaches have said, you just want to keep flying the suit, and when you go into a ball, you're not flying the suit anymore. But the goal is you want to try to get your head down so that you can gain speed to get out of that spin.
But what you don't want to do at the same time is gain speed because that's the quicker way
Well, yeah. Well, but you need
down.
also like altitude awareness, right? So I'm trying this new skill at 13,000 feet because I like to open between 3,500 feet. So that gives me time to fix issues if there are.
Gotcha.
Um, and I burned all that altitude trying to get out of this flat spin.
Man, that's just, yeah. I guess you don't have time to. Your life flashes before your eyes. There's no time for that because you're going through. Okay, I know I got to fix this. I know how to
Yeah.
fix it,
Yeah.
so I got to fix it.
Yeah. You become incredibly focused in a situation like that. I don't know. I think there's two different types of people. There's
Well,
people
you're
that
focused
panic.
before you even leap, right? You're
For
focused.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're the type that panics easily, that's not a good situation. But there's 2 points I want to make on this. One, if I couldn't get out of that spin, I still can deploy my parachute, but I'm on the wrong side. It's underneath me and it's gonna make me do this real quick and it's gonna probably hurt. And that parachute's probably gonna be too tangled and I'm gonna have to cut away, but at least I'll be in the right orientation. The other thing about it is there's a little device called an AAD, and it's about the size of like this little thumb drive, and it's called an automatic activation device. And this is something I think just as people are hearing this, are probably thinking like, "Oh, I'm never going to skydive," but that little computer is in our backpack, and if we are still at terminal velocity and it depends on the setting, mine's at about 1,000 feet, then it cuts my main and deploys the reserve. And so I could be totally
Automatically.
unconscious or totally unaware of my altitude, and I'm still gonna have a parachute over my head.
So
So
you could be like
that's
like you could be like unconscious. Say something happened and
yeah,
it'll automatically deploy.
yep, yeah, and they have that for tandem rigs. They're set higher with tandem rigs,
I still don't want
So
to jump, Dave. I really.
I know this story's not helping, but my buddy's trying to hit on this chick in New York, and he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna take her skydiving. Hey, send me that video of your cutaway." And I do. And he's like, "Dude, she doesn't want to go now." I'm like, "You sent it to her, you idiot."
Moron. Jeez.
uh, ruined his chances.
So she never went.
No. I
Still
don't even
hasn't.
know if they got a date after that.
Oh no. Ugh.
Yeah, but they had the whole thing planned. They were going to go, and then he started sending these kind of videos and stuff. I'm like, dude.
One of my early questions on here was do you pack your own parachute? And I'm sure you have to because if you got to wait on somebody else, you're not going to jump as much as you want to, right?
Yeah. So over Memorial Day weekend here, I just did 9 or 10 jumps. I think
That's
that's a
all.
little logbook, but nine, call it 9 jumps. And yeah, it takes me about 13 minutes to repack my parachute. But we have two parachutes. There's the main, which I can repack, and then the reserve is in the top section of the backpack, and that has to be packed by an FAA certified rigger, and then inspected and repacked every
If
six
you don't
months.
pull that, then it doesn't matter if you do pack your other one the right way, right?
Right, exactly.
You got to reserve.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, it was funny. Just Saturday, my buddy he's newer to wingsuiting, and the wingsuit has extra kind of fabric, right? So he goes to he loses control of his suit. So at about 5,000 feet, he goes to deploy his main. and he reaches back and all he feels is the fabric of his wingsuit. So he can't find the little handle you have to pull. So he
Oh
tries
no.
2 more times, still can't find the handle. So he does a cutaway and goes straight to his reserve. And but he did all the right stuff that you're supposed to at the training. And
Now,
it's
okay, you know how planes, like airplanes and things, they have to report certain issues, like certain if they have to declare an emergency for some reason.
Mhm.
Does that need to happen? Like you say that the reserve sheet has to be packed by certain standards by the FAA. Do you have to report certain incidences? I guess.
only
Um,
if there's injuries involved, then
yeah.
it's reported to the U.S. Parachute Association, and they just call them incident reports. And it could be, a broken ankle on landing, a femur, broken femur is more common, unfortunately. Well, it's maybe not more
Well,
common. It depends on what people are doing, but
definitely don't want
uh,
to do it
no,
now.
no. But
Jeez.
but those things get reported just to the governing body of parachuting.
Okay.
Um, and so we can learn through those mistakes. And it's
That's what I
actually
was.
really
Yeah.
cool because
That's
every
really
month
good.
they publish these incidents and it's like, what went wrong? What could they have done differently to avoid this?
Yeah.
And I am happy to say that this last year was the lowest fatalities ever recorded in skydiving. And
That's good. Yeah.
I need to look up the number, but I think it was somewhere to the tune of like 9 worldwide.
Wow. Yeah.
And so when you
I
think
know. I
about
know you lost a friend. Was it a few months ago, right?
I lost my balloon pilot friend that I did the Falcon stuff with.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, he had 8 skydivers successfully exit, and
Didn't know it was
it's
him.
not all at once because that can cause balloon issues. But they're descending, and we're somewhere around 5,000 feet. The official report's not out, but there was a catastrophic failure with the balloon. We believe that the main envelope had a tear in it, or something with the balloon malfunctioned. And so he fought it. Unfortunately, I saw a video of it, and he fought it the whole way down. Man, he was putting fuel in it, trying to get it to float. And there were 5 people on board, 4 passengers, and one of them actually survived it.
Wow.
So yeah, she got in the fetal position on her side. I think everybody was fetal position, but like stomach to earth, and
Yeah.
she was on her side, and so she had damage to the side, but no organ damage, and she survived.
Amazing.
Um, I don't know anything else about who it is or where she lives or like any other details, but pretty miraculous that somebody survived that. But yeah, it's the hard thing about this is we're surrounded by fatalities, and it's sad when it's people that are close, and especially Cornelius was his name, which is a great name for a balloon pilot, I think. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but he, I can't think of another profession where you literally change people's lives every single morning. Getting up in a balloon is magical, and then jumping from one is just totally special. And he just made such a difference in everybody's lives, and his memorial really reflected that, and it was great.
I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know that it was the actual guy that was you did that stunt with. I just thought it was when I saw your post, I
Yeah.
knew it was a friend of yours just by the how you posted. But yeah, I did. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. He was so loved, and it's funny. A lot of the guys that I'm jumping with over the weekend had stickers of him, and there
Oh
was
yeah.
this big tribute in the back of the Parachute magazine that comes out every month, and yeah, it was an unfortunate accident, but I am glad to say that it doesn't appear to be pilot error from what I can make of it. And like I said, there's no official report yet, but from what I've pieced together, and I know people that were there, I know how careful he was. It does appear to be a mechanical, yeah, I say mechanical, but the
And he
balloon.
died doing what he loved.
That's the other thing is it really made me reflect. Like people are like, oh, you just still do it. I'm like, yeah, I don't. I lost my dad in 2019 to Alzheimer's, and I'm like, that was a slow, miserable death, and hard. It was hard for him. It was hard for everyone around him, and I don't want to go that way, and I don't want to go.
But you would never
Uh,
know if you did.
yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, it was hard though. Like seeing him, there was a point where he knew that he had forgotten or just retold the same story, and he would feel embarrassed about it. Like there's definitely a period where he knew what was happening, and that made it tough. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it just made me reflect. Like, do what you love to the fullest every day, and make the best decisions you can to be safe. And beyond that, it's not in our hands.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I had a grandmother that had dementia, and that's just as draining, of a disease. But I guess if that's the way I would go, I would choose that because I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I would forget or something. But I think there is a moment. I don't want to get too far into the topic, but I think there is a moment when you're on your deathbed and you know that it's time that stuff goes away and you know what's happening.
Yeah.
I think maybe I don't know. Who knows? I mean, we don't know until we're there. And
Yeah.
but it's a weird topic, but it's you would hope that you. I don't know. I don't. It's you can't explain it because nobody's done it. Nobody's lived to tell. You know what I mean?
Have you had a near death experience?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
Landing the airplane in Bangkok, maybe.
I mean, I've had several. Well, not several, but it's just things happen that you think that, especially as a child or as a kid, something drastic happens. You think you're going to die. Things like
Right.
that. But like, you know.
I'll have a quick story, then we'll switch subjects.
Sure,
but,
yeah, yeah.
It ties into skydiving. So I'm out in Oahu on the North Shore skydiving there.
I was going to ask you where cause since my parents go to Hawaii all the time. I was talking to my dad, and I was going to ask you where you went. But yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, Dillingham. It's owned by Go Jump now, and it's in Oahu, and it's on the North Shore there at Dillingham Airfield. They might have renamed the airstrip, but anyway, it's on the North Shore. And this is several years ago, and we go up in the plane. And there's like maybe 24 of us on the plane, and we're all ready to jump. And the FAA grounds all the planes, and we keep our phones on us so that if we land off, we can call. So all of a sudden, we all get text messages. I look at my phone, and it says nuclear missile inbound. Seek shelter immediately.
Come on now.
Yeah, look this up in Hawaii. Google it. It happened.
Oh,
And
God.
so they land the plane. I'm like, Dillingham Airfield's like leased from the military. This isn't Target. What are you landing the plane for? So they land the plane, and I was like, I got 10 minutes to live. And it was like, what do you do? I went on, I got an energy drink and a blueberry muffin and just waited to die. It was the weirdest feeling.
What? Okay. All right. Now, okay. So you're up in a plane getting ready to jump, right?
Yeah, we were 1 minute to jumping. Doors open and everything.
And everybody gets this alert on their phone.
Yep.
Like the you know how you get like the Amber Alert. So it's like they're really loud. I hate that stuff.
Yeah.
We get them when it's gonna like be a flash flood or something. It's crazy. But like, so that happens, and then the pilot's like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna have to land the plane. You can't jump, right?"
FAA grounded us. Yeah, so we had to come back down.
So what else did the message say on your phone? Just like, how do you know you had 10 minutes?
It said it was inbound and it like would impact in 20 minutes. And so once we landed, we had about 10 minutes left, and then 10 minutes comes and goes, and we're like, well, this is weird.
Boom.
And so we're just kind of like waiting, and then it was 41 or 43 minutes later, there's a second text that says false alarm, and I'm like,
son of a.
But here's the interesting thing.
Did you go back up and jump?
I did, yeah.
Thank God. Here, yeah. Good for you. That's how you stick it to the man.
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing is that it was right when it was Trump and Kim Jong-un or whoever in North Korea were kind of going back and forth. And shortly after this, they announced Space Force. So I'm wondering if something actually did happen and there was something taken out in space or whatever. I mean, we'll never know the truth, but it was interesting because you don't accidentally send an alert like that. And
no.
The whole state of Hawaii.
I remember that happening.
Yeah, it was. I'll have to look through my screen captures and send that to you at some point.
That's okay. So you're going to do some kind of a trick in a little while, right?
Yeah. Does that video come through?
I'll look and see here. But do you want to see me do the trick?
I would love to see it.
Yes, I did get it. It's right there. Yep. Okay, I got it. Yep, I do have it. Okay, let me. Now, okay, for those of you who don't know that, or might have not seen the very first time you were on, this has been kind of a running joke. It's got to be a running joke because you're the expert here, and I'm clearly not. But okay, so I was in Myrtle Beach. I was probably, I'd say, 12 or 13 years old. I'll be 45. How old will I be? See, I already have Alzheimer's. I'll be 44. I'll be 44 in September. So. When we were at Myrtle Beach, they had like a magic shop, and any kid's interested in that stuff. So we go in there, and and the magician the owner is doing this trick. And I was like, that's awesome. How do you do that? You know, and of course the magician never tells, but he did tell me because he wanted to sell me one, you know, to be able to do. So, but he never showed me. He's like, it shows you how to do it, you know, inside the package. So I bought one, and that's where this came from. This is the only one that I know, and it sucks. Do you have yours available?
I do.
You do? Okay. Well, let's let you do yours first, so I don't ruin it. How about that?
Actually, do the trick.
Yeah, and maybe I
You're
can.
talking about this one.
Yeah, I am. Yes, maybe I can watch. You know, again, that way I don't screw it up here.
All right. So usually, you know, this is kind of a kid's trick. You take the silk.
Thank you.
Yeah. You place it into your hand, and then when you're ready, it vanishes.
See, I'm all right. I'm not going to stand up because I'm just going to screw it up if I stand up and be like, I'm standing now. I was going to say, wait, do it again, because a lot of viewers that are viewing you even in person will be like, do it again. Like, I can't do it again. That's not the whole, you know, that's not the point. Okay. All right. So you're talking about something like this, right? Mine's red. I don't know why mine's. I think I did have a yellow one at one point, but who knows where that? Maybe I used it as a. You like this? Mine's got strings hanging. I mean, this it's well used. I use this. I keep it in my pocket for certain like situations for picking up women. You know what I mean? It still hasn't worked. All right.
I was going to ask, but there you go. Yes. All right.
Anybody know? Yeah, the first time I did this on the first show was definitely awful.
You've improved since then. You've been practicing.
I haven't been practicing at all. That was just.
So not a lot of women have seen this trick, is what I'm hearing.
Well, the first thing I do is, hey, have you ever seen anybody levitate? And then it's usually when I've had a few, so like I fall over and that one definitely doesn't work. Anyway, I don't have. I need a few new ones. Basically, is what I'm saying. I don't work well with cards. Like I don't do the whole like. A buddy was trying to show me. My fraternity brother was trying to show me like how to do where you make them curl through your fingers and then just the sleight of hand stuff. And I'm just not good at it. Like,
yeah,
maybe I'm just not meant for this. I'm just meant for interviewing bands and creative artists like you.
I will tell you, I learned card manipulation one summer I was in middle school, and I spent the summer out at a buddy's house on the lake. And this was back when all the magic tapes were tapes. It was VHS, right? We'd wear these videos out learning this magic through a magician named Jeff McBride. And but it's something where you have to have just amazing attention span and like a passion to do that. And I don't know how adults get into magic. Like there's an interest, but the passion is not the same as what it is when you're a young kid, like learning this for the first time and you have no responsibilities, you know, then you can spend a whole summer learning it. But yeah, it's the sleight of hand and all that. I mean, if I didn't learn it when I was super young, I don't know that I would have ever picked it up. It's tough. Uh-oh. I lose you?
Okay, your audio's there. Oh, there. Okay, you're back.
All right.
That damn guy, he's just got too much money. He can't even fix his internet. You know. Actually, it's telling me that mine's unstable. What do you mean? No, it's stable. Look how stable it is. Unless we've been inundated with like severe thunderstorms the past few days, and let me see here. That usually. Let me just take. No, there's nothing incoming.
Nothing nuclear.
I didn't get an Amber Alert for nuclear missile from Kim Jong-un or from somebody. Anyway.
Yes, this is 2018, January 13, 2018. So I'm going to look that up in my pictures, and I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Share it on the thing, and I'll put it up on the screen. I think I remember hearing something about that on the news, or on socials, because I knew it was all over socials.
It was wild, man. People were throwing their kids in like the gutters and the manhole.
Throwing their kids?
But they'd go in with like buckets of food and put them under the manhole covers and stuff. I mean, all of Hawaii was losing their minds. I mean,
I'm sure there was no lawsuits that were. I mean, if they were filed, they probably weren't won because it was the government. But. Can
you imagine filing a lawsuit in Hawaii? I feel like.
Well, you know, they did have that massive fire on. Man, that was devastating.
That was
very, and I think it was it just started remotely with a power line, but something about the power line was supposed to be fixed all day, and nobody came to fix it. I don't know. It's just nuts. I
Pretty
can't
wild.
imagine. I can't imagine living through something like that. Though that's just crazy.
No, that
Hey,
would
if,
be
if you're
that'd be
watching the
awesome.
show, you're more than welcome to chat along. If you have any questions about nuclear missiles or skydiving or wingsuits or any how we did that trick, all you have to do is hit subscribe and just start chatting. Do it, damn it. We need interaction here. Don't just view, interact.
Hey, I don't know if you've seen this one. This is a pretty visual trick. I can't remember if I
Is
did
that a
this
rubber
one.
band?
It's two rubber bands.
Okay.
All right, and they're stuck together, right? Can't go through the top, the bottom, the left or right, but watch closer right there in the middle.
No, no, no. Okay. Now wait a minute. Now wait. All right.
You want me to do that one again? This is
Well,
one you do again.
okay.
Two rubber bands, yeah.
Yep.
And you can
Okay. Yeah.
see
Okay. That's the part I didn't see. So yeah, you can't go
can't
pat.
go through
Yeah.
the top, the bottom, the middle, the left or right, but watch closely right there in the middle.
Okay. That's witchcraft. There's a certain okay. There's a way to do it, but that's a good one. I like that one. Have you okay? You remember? I think we talked about this the first time you were on too, also, but I can't remember. But you know how like on they used to do magic shows all the time on TV, all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And Copperfield did a bunch of them. I think that's when we got into talking about Copperfield karaoke. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
So they used to do those things where they would put like a graphic on the screen and like they would have the viewer pick a card or something, and it would always it would be the same answer for everybody. Can
Yeah.
you? I know we don't have anything like that prepared, but is that? Do you know what they're doing when they're doing that? Like when a magician does something, do you normally know what they're doing?
I would say once you understand a certain amount of magic, you probably get about 98% of it. And the final 2% you can usually figure out with a little bit extra thought.
Is there
So,
anything that still stumps you to this day?
um,
That's anybody's done?
I can't think of it. No. And that's believe me, that's not like trying to be arrogant.
No, no, no. That's
Just but to illustrate like the simplicity behind what we really do, once you understand some of the core concepts, you can usually find the solution. And actually, this is something I learned early on because when they had all the magic shows on TV, shortly after Fox did the Secrets Revealed series, and
I
what
know.
what
I
they
bet you
didn't
hated that,
realize
didn't
is
you?
like
Did you hate that?
well, yeah, because these illusions are you could spend $18,000 in the 90s
Yeah.
on one of these illusions. And so I'd work my butt off in high school and I'd go I did well with I would do grade school shows and I'd be paid to do these motivational assemblies and so I missed a lot of high school putting on shows and educating kids. And so I'd save up for half a year to buy one of these illusions, and then the guy on TV exposes it. It's like, well, now I can't do this $18,000 piece of equipment, and now I can't sell it because everybody knows how it works.
Yeah.
And so he really did some damage to the industry. But the interesting thing that it shaped me early on is that, of course, I want my magic to be the best it can be, but there are going to be people that know how it works. And that's just the reality. And people come to the show to be entertained or to try to figure it out. And so my goal has always been to do the best magic I can, but put entertainment first. I'm an entertainer. I happen to have magic as a tool.
Yeah.
And that's served me well because at the end of the day, like we're a bunch of grown adults pushing boxes around with mirrors, right? And not to say it's all done with mirrors, but like it's overly simplified and there's guys who get these egos about like how cool they are and the whatever. That's like, dude, humble yourself. This is the like we're just playing with toys and people are paying us to do it. So you better be entertaining because it's
Your
fully
show is
unknown.
your show is I don't I'm sure you change it, you know, with the times and as you learn new things and as you do different tricks and stuff. But it was very entertaining and it flowed really well. You know, like it was very like I filmed a little bit at the beginning, you know, and you know a friend told me one time because I go to concerts and do the exact same thing. I will go to a show and film. Just I have a gimbal thing that moves on, you know, little joystick. It's really nice, and they're like, just put it down and just watch, just enjoy it. You know, you're not working all the time, and it's true. But I couldn't film anymore. I was because I was like, You know, and I wasn't really paying attention to my phone and what it was, you know, where I was
Yeah.
filming at. So I was like, all right, I'm going to put this down. I got to see what's happening. There's no way. You're like, but every single thing, like then it was one to the other, one to the other. And then all of a sudden it was over. I'm like, son of a, and then I only got the two that I sent you. I think I
Yeah.
only posted one of them, but I was like, man, there's so much good stuff in there that I could have, but you have to go see this live. You can't. Me capturing it on film or anybody you doing your act on TV would be awesome. Yes, just so you're on TV, but you have to see it in person. You have to have the person standing there doing this stuff because it's you see let's see. Your wife got into a box, right? I remembered something about that. I don't remember the entire. I don't think you saw it in half, but it was like something like that, or she was
We
got really
did.
small or
First of all,
something.
thank you, because that those
Sure.
are really big compliments.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it's one of them is we switched places really quickly, and I don't think we did levitation there that tour. That one's a massive one for us to tour with, but I did do cut in half with her. We have the bird act where all the birds vanish and they turn into my daughter.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that one was crazy too.
we light a pan on fire and produce this. Actually, to answer, probably people are asking what's in the background there.
Hmm.
It's a white ball python, and so we produce this snake. And then my daughter comes out in this like cool like circusy outfit, and so she takes the snake, and she sells snake photos after the show.
Yep.
And so you know, and I made a deal with her that I'd help her buy the snake. She could do the photos, but she had to give me 50% of the money at the end of the night to go into her own savings. So she made like $1,000 that tour, man.
Oh
She was
yeah.
so she's counting all this money. Yeah. Yeah, so she would take the money and then have to physically give it to me to put into savings, and that you know there were some lessons that I want to teach, you know, with
Sure.
her in regards to just real life stuff, and we're on the road with her a lot of the year, and we're fortunate she's at a private school so she can miss school, but you know our philosophy is I don't want school to get in the way of a good education, and
Sure.
so like there's a need for the good education at school, but there's also a need for the stuff that we're doing. So we try to integrate life lessons for our child in the middle of these tours too. And so that's anyway, the snake thing's a fun story because she just like it's neat to see a kid who was pretty shy like come out of her shell
Yeah.
doing something that adults are afraid of, you know, and it's just
Yeah,
neat.
like well, I mean, we did the like little VIP meet and greet before the show started, and she was there with the snake and showing people, and yeah, she was. I mean, she had it completely wrapped around her, and you see adults going, no, 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 don't bring that over
Yeah.
here. You know, I think I was one of them.
Yeah,
Don't bring
yeah.
it. No, I don't want that over here. You know.
Well,
But
we
yeah,
just had
that's
our whole school come to our house for an assembly because we've got about, oh, I don't know, 10, 11 parrots here at the house. And so they come over and we teach them about the birds and what makes a parrot a parrot. And then we have this flight aviary in the backyard. And so one by one, we'd bring in kids. Well, Capri, my daughter, who's now 11, has our biggest macaw and manages this macaw. If you go to ask him to step up, he will bite you, guaranteed, but she knows how to handle him and work with him. And it's like every behavior gets a pay, you know, gets a pine nut or whatever. And so she went through the whole class or the whole school, not just the class, the whole school, putting the bird on everybody and getting flights to from the perch to the person or back to the perch, and went through everybody without a single kid being bitten.
wow.
And it was just really cool to give her the tools and empower her to do that. And I don't know, as a dad moment, I'm like, it's just something I'm proud of. Again, you know, here's a bird that most people would be afraid of, and she's like putting it on first graders through eighth
That's
graders.
awesome.
So it was
Do you
fun.
think it was big, like the bird was more calm because of children, or does that
No,
sometimes
no,
make the bird
worse.
more alert?
Yeah, the kids are probably the worst thing to put a parrot on.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But it's just been cool that she's been around it so much that she understands like when his body language is not favorable, you know, she knows how to react and change that to make it worthwhile and make sure nobody's bitten.
Try to get that file to go over to my Mac, and I don't know why it's not doing it. So we can, but okay. Do you know? Since you're a bird guy, in the wild, around here. There's a bird called a killdeer. I don't know what the
Yeah,
scientific. Do you know what that
yeah,
is?
yeah. I know what you're
They're
talking
very
about.
annoying. They're very annoying
They're so noisy.
sounding. Okay, now these birds do not nest in trees traditionally. They nest in the ground, but they just make a little burrow, right? And it's just. I mean, you can see the eggs usually if they're not
Hmm.
sitting there. There's a stupid freaking bird, killdeer, right out back of my. Okay, I have about a little under an acre here, right? And I'm mowing the grass the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I have a fire pit right around where this ladybird was. And I have my headphones on. I always have my headphones on, listening to some kind of music. And I hear this sound that's like not of the music because it was a song I'd heard before. You know, I knew it wasn't on there. I'm like, what is happening? I look down. I use a rider. I look down right next to the mower deck. There's a bird all like this going. That's why I can hear a little bit of it, but I could see the mouth, and I was like, okay, I knew exactly what that is because before I had grass here, when I went out to seed my lawn, there was like 4 of these nests, you know, so I had to wait a while for that. She's still out there. She's been out there a good 3.5 weeks, and it's starting to, there's just a random square in my backyard of unmowed grass because she won't let me near it.
That's funny.
Like, I could go near it. I could be really mean and go near it and probably just, but I'm afraid she's going to peck my head off or something because I don't trust this bird. Like I don't trust wildlife.
Well, they're funny because they fake being injured to like lure you away from the
really?
nest. Yeah, that's what she's doing, right? So she'll.
Oh. I thought she was just trying to make herself bigger, you know?
Yeah, they act like they're injured to lure predators away from the babies.
But once I saw, you know, since she was over by me, I looked over. The grass wasn't that high at that point, so I looked over and you can see the eggs because they're like spotted black and blue, maybe, or white. I can't remember. But there's only like 2 or 3. But isn't she done? I mean, how long does this take? Is she going to be done soon? Because it's turning into. I mean, it's about this high now, you know. Like,
it's so funny.
How long you will be?
I love that you don't have the heart to just go mow through a nest. I appreciate that.
I'm not going to do that. I mean, like she didn't know that was my backyard. She does now because I've mowed 3 times since then, and I can't. I got the closest cut to it the very last time, and she brought a buddy out. There was a buddy killed here because I went down to the lower part and started mowing that, and there was another one. I'm like, you son of a bitch, don't you put a nest down here either. Like, we're not doing that. But I don't know whether it was the male or the dad, or I don't know how this goes, but like it was trotting up towards her, like seeing if she was all right. I mean, and they started like, were they going to gang up on me now? Are they going to call their friends? Like, what's happening here? Am I just going to get pooped on? I mean, I could go for that, but
don't move to Australia, man. The magpies down there, they'll attack you.
I can't mow over a nest. Now, I mean she didn't know.
Yeah. Oh,
but she needs to vacate because my goodness, it's been long enough. You know, long enough.
It's happening soon, I'm sure.
I did have one year. I have to pull up the picture. I'll send it to you. I have this picture. I had a grill. I don't have it any longer, but I had about a 6-burner gas grill on my back deck, right? And I never put a cover over it or anything, and it had been out all winter. And in the springtime, I went out there and I was getting ready to cook some chicken, right? I open it up and there's a robin's nest in there. Okay, no eggs, but just a nest, right? So I just take all the sticks and crap and out of it and throw it into the yard. The next morning, and I didn't cook on it that night, but the next morning, it's all back in there again. Oh, no. How did you do that much work in that amount of time? Like you don't even have any like arms, you know? Like do you just gather the stuff off the grass and put it right back? I mean, so I let it be, and then I opened it up, and there was like 4 blue eggs in there. So I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do now? You know what my first thought was? Breakfast.
Yeah.
I threw it out in the yard. That's the only time I've ever disturbed a nest. But it was in my grill. It was like, I mean, you don't need a nest that big anyway. It's a robin's nest. There's the eggs were like this big, but the nest was like gigantic in the grill. Like, you know, you open the lid and the whole thing was a nest.
What do you do?
I threw it out. I was gonna have breakfast, but then I was like, I don't know about robin eggs. That's
especially fertilized ones. Might depending on how
I wasn't. I mean, maybe I don't know, but yeah, that's the only one I've ever. I did throw it out in the yard. I was mad because I'd already taken the nest out of there when there was no eggs in it, but then she just puts it back overnight and lays their eggs like it's all good.
You should just let the propane going just a little bit so that she wouldn't go in there.
I finally got rid of that grill though.
Oh, that's funny.
I got a new one and I keep a cover on it, but it's not. It's just a smaller. I don't need it. I don't know why this is not transferring over, but it's not. I'm gonna airdrop it to myself.
I keep trying the share screen option. It's not letting me do
I'm
it.
airdropping it to myself, so we might
All
lose a connection or two here for a second.
All right.
Just I don't know how the thing works. Oh, while we're waiting for this, I fell off a ladder recently, Dave.
Oh, geez. How tall was it?
It wasn't very. It was my own dumbass fault. Okay, I got it over here. I see my back deck is it's not wooden. It's that composite decking.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Really slippery.
Yeah.
I just wasn't thinking. I had this antenna on top of my house, and I needed to move it over to here where I'm sitting, and it's here now. But I didn't get up there and do it. But I had just an extension ladder, and I was dumb and just took it up on the deck and leaned it against the gutter and started going up. And as soon as I got towards the top, just about ready to get up onto the ladder, wasn't having it. But I didn't fall on my head. I didn't hit my head at all. But I fell in the rungs, which was awful.
Oh,
my shins were all torn up, dude. It was dude,
bad. That sounds terrible.
It was. But that was my action for that day. But yeah, I got that. Do you want to go ahead and do that now that I have it over here? I'll start sharing my screen here, and we can.
Yeah. So hold on before you share the screen. Let's start with this here.
Okay,
so we'll give this a quick shuffle, and this is important too that everybody can see. It's a regular deck. It's a full deck.
Okay.
Give it one more shuffle, and then it's difficult to do card tricks over the air like this. So the best way to have you pick a card is just to say stop anytime.
Stop anytime.
Right there.
Right. See, remember the last time? I didn't forget.
Yeah. All right, so we'll let you take a look at this card here. All right, so everybody can see.
I'm not going to say what it is like I did the last time, though.
All right, yep. All right, remember it. And I'll keep it out just so that we can showcase it later. But if you will now go ahead and play the video that I sent you before the interview even started.
All right.
Because I try to integrate my passions into my magic. And so we'll be revealing the card in a very unusual way with the screen share right now.
Oh, no, it's going to do this crap. Hang on a minute.
Oh, no.
Just hold on. Hold on.
Well, as we're waiting for that, this is something that we do in our live shows, too. And you saw a version of this in Clarksburg, and which, by the way, is one of the most beautiful theaters I've ever performed.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorites.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you got the. Did you see the Houdini? Wasn't there a Houdini thing? Did Sean show you that?
I think I did see it. Yeah, there's some memorabilia in there.
Yeah. I'm amazed by the amount of work that they've done to that place. Anyway, here's the video here. Are you ready?
Yep, ready for it.
Okay, I'm gonna hit share. Can you see that screen there?
I see it.
Okay, here we go.
Hey everybody, I'm Thrillusionist David DaVinci. But you probably already knew that since I'm on stage performing right now. But I gotta tell you something. I had a premonition that today I would be performing in this very theater. I want to try something interactive through the use of this video and somebody from the front of the audience. In fact, right now, it's gonna sound like I'm talking to myself, but David.
So if you want to actually skip forward about 30
find
seconds.
a lady closest to the front of the stage.
About 30 seconds. Yep, keep going, keep going, keep going.
I remember this.
Going. All right, right there.
Against her body. So there's no way that anybody else can see the card.
Your card.
Perfect. Now I'd like to invite her to stay standing right where she is, holding that card tightly into her body so nobody else can see it. Because right now, I'm going to try to find the card in a very unique way. In fact, a way that no magician ever has in the history of magic. Using this deck of cards from the past, from 18,000 feet. Watch closely.
Beautiful plane.
That's a fun one. Right, so watch closely here. I've got half the cards spread in each hand. This shot will not cut away. As I leave the plane, I'm holding on to those cards for dear life, making sure that I don't lose any. I think I actually already lost one here. But as I fall down towards the earth, I gain speeds of nearly 140 miles per hour, straight down. Now, in a moment, I'm going to place those cards out in front of my face. Whatever you guys do, don't blink. Whoa, here we go.
No way.
You can see one card worked its way into my helmet. The same card you just selected before.
No, it's inside your helmet.
It's inside the helmet.
What? Okay.
This actually, you can keep it playing. It's a fun jump. Trying to jump this in
Where was this
proximity. It's out in Moab, Utah. Checking our altimeter there. I get real close to him here, and I give him a high five in a second.
The dude's jumping in jeans.
Yeah, in a hoodie. There's a high five. And then deployment looks like that, going from 140 to about 20. Whee!
That's got to be the best there. That there I'd be comfortable with. Once the parachute's out, it's the free fall that I don't want. You know?
It's a blast, though, man.
I bet you it is. That's great. That's terrific, man.
So yeah, that's a little inside look to.
How did that get inside of your? Because the cards were on the outside, so that wasn't. You know, let me get this screen down here. Okay.
You know, we tried a lot of different ways to try to come up with a method for that, and you know, there's a famous trick called the card sword, and it's the same idea. Somebody picks a card, you throw the cards in the air, and you spear the deck, and one card stuck on the sword, and it's their selected card. And so I wanted to come up with a way to do that in the sky, and it's just it's a fun way to tie all the passions together the best I can. Now the next challenge is doing it with the wingsuit. So what I want to do is have my buddy fly on his back with a deck of cards in each hand, and then release the cards, and then I fly through them in the same end result. But it has different challenges. Actually, when I did that trick, I got a cut across my neck from one of the cards hitting it, because it hit it at 140 miles an hour, right? Yeah. So,
what's the speed when you have a wingsuit?
So the descending speed in a wingsuit is roughly 40 miles an hour. But all that downward energy is shifted to forward movement. So we're doing about 140 miles per hour forward and 40 down. So in the video and actually I just edited the two clips that I had sent you previously. I edited those together. But you can see, like, we can get really far away from each other and then come right back because we have so much available speed. And we just control that with our body configuration. I had
a great experience putting those videos together that you sent me yesterday, because of that. You know, the way you can move away from each other and back in. You know, that I was like, well, this is going to be easy. And I wanted to the song that I used was actually, I just released that song. It's part of I guess I'll just go ahead and say it now. But it's part of an Acute Mania compilation album of previous guests. But it can only be in like house music. So like some of these artists will be going out, jumping out of their box and out of their comfortable space and making something that's in that thing. So I don't know when it's going to be out. It's I do know that Maintenance, a band from Yonkers, New York, is they're kind of on deck with theirs. I think theirs comes out in June, so they're supposed to let me know when theirs is ready to be released, and we'll release that one as the next one. But it'll just be everybody on one album.
That's awesome.
Of just whatever they come up with, and that's the one I came up with. I figured I'd just go ahead and get it going, But
love it.
It's gonna be pretty cool to see what some of these metal bands and stuff come up with. Hey, Rob, Invisible Rob's in the house. He's invisible. That's why you can't see. He does his own tricks, don't you, Rob? Yep. Oh yeah.
I was looking in the chat. I was like, I don't see anybody.
Yeah, he's definitely not in the chat. I do see Tracy's in the chat though. I just now saw that. But I guess you're in there. You can see there. You can see what she's saying.
I do see her in there. Yeah.
I need to bring a. She must have put me in a bubble. That's not good. It's been a while since Tracy's been over here. Actually,
you must have shown her the silk trick.
She's seen that several times.
So it's working
more than well. Well, she was on the first show. Remember, she was on that first show.
Okay,
how terrible that was. So she knows. But yeah, I haven't shown her in a while. So I will. But she already knows how it's done anyway because of what I called it before.
Yeah, I mean that's a work in progress, but
Now you're into. I don't want to get too much into this, but you're into guns and like weapons and things, right?
Oh yeah.
The guy I had on when was it, Friday night? My buddy Pete came on the show, and he's a gunsmith around here, and they're starting an open mic at the local VFW, so that's one of the reasons he was on. But he actually demonstrates some of the weapons that he's customized and things. If you want to watch it,
that's awesome. Yeah. Speaking of customized weapons, you want to see something funny?
Yes. Yeah, that's the duck hunt weapon, right?
it's a 9mm, but you know.
Did you customize that?
Yeah.
I'll show him that. He'll like that.
Yeah, it's that was a fun one. But yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff up here that is fun to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Safely.
That top one is a survivalist tool, right?
There's a few up there. There's I think 4 up there, and I have an AK on the wall. I it's funny, I'm not really an AK guy, but I was living in a warehouse when we first moved up here because
you're living in a warehouse.
Yeah, so we had all of our storage, all of our equipment in the bottom part. Basically, okay, long story short, we moved out of Florida because our daughter was she's about 9 months old, and we're like, we got to be closer to family. So we came up here, and there wasn't a lot of housing available, and so we the only thing we could find was a warehouse, and so we moved all of our gear into this warehouse. And thanks, babe. Look at that, just brought me some dinner.
All right, what is it? What'd you get? Salad?
I got salmon, and it looks like sweet potatoes. And
did you order that? Did you order that meal?
She made it, man.
Oh, nice.
But yes, we lived in a warehouse, and we built like in a little apartment upstairs, and all of our gear was down below. And we moved out shortly after because we got contracts on ships for like the next few years. But anyway, it was right next door to a pawn shop, and so I would go over to the pawn shop sometimes, and I was like, "There's an AK there for like $200." I'm like, "Do that." So I don't know. Yeah. I ended up taking it to a buddy of mine that does Cerakote, and so it's probably one of the coolest looking AKs you'll see in person. But yeah, it's got all sorts of cool like camo patterns, and I put an ACOG on it and stuff. But yeah, I'll have to watch it. Is that episode in your?
Yeah, it's the one I just did. The very last one I did, 271. It just says Pete McElway, and it's like the Memorial Day weekend thing. But sweet. I wanted to do something special, because he served in Bosnia, as a veteran and everything. So I thought that would be a cool show. So yeah, he's awesome. pretty cool dude. And I ate one of the MREs that he had with him at the end. Oh yeah, was it? How old was it? He didn't tell me, but it actually tasted. Chef Boyardee was terrible compared to that. It was like spaghetti meat sauce. But I really needed a salad with it. Okay. I really wanted to have a salad, but they can't have that out in the field. But I'm like, well, they can have everything else. Why can't they make an MRE salad? I would eat it. Some of those lettuce would be so gross after being in there for. Could be. I take MREs camping with me because it's like huge, tons of calories and not a lot of space. You don't have to start a fire to heat it up. I mean, it's brilliant design, but. Well, I did read the directions on how to heat this one up, and you'll have to watch it. I'm not going to give it away, but I made a clip for it. It's up on Instagram and Facebook, but yeah, it's towards the end is when this happens, and he has me read the directions on how to prepare this meal out in the wild, I guess you call it, out in the. Well, and I think there's something about like Tabasco sauce with it. Like, I believe the heating element in Tabasco like becomes explosive. The directions were very, very confusing to me. Okay, but towards the end of the instructions, he pointed something out, and basically I just went like this because I was like, so if I just go like this, everything is good to go, Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you'll like it. Tracy, you'll like it. You everybody go watch it. Everybody go watch it. I'm trying to find. I found the photos here of like the time frame of the nuclear thing, but I can't find the screen grab. Oh, you'll get it. You'll get it one random day. You'll get it one random day and send it to me. And be like, what's happening? We're getting a nuclear missile. Everybody dive. Everybody dive. I'll think it's an alert. Too bad I can't actually change the alert to like have a different sound when I send it, so I can. Oh, you could. I could do that for you. I could help you out with that. Really? There's ways. Yeah, I'll have to find it. I found the right time frame, but we're already to the hour mark. But before we go, I've been doing this new episode. I think we talked about hot dogs probably the first time that you were on here, didn't we? Or did we not? Was I not doing that then? I don't know. I can't remember. I know we didn't do it when you were out in the field with the Brosboro guy doing the peregrine falcon thing. I don't think we talked about it then because you were literally out in the field,
Yeah.
like doing that live stream. But I'm pretty sure we didn't do it then. But I used to do this segment. I would call it the Wiener segment because my buddy of mine that used to live here, we would talk about hot dogs and like where to get a good hot dog where you live. And anyway, I got sick of that.
We did talk about this because I remember the joke about the size of your mohawk versus mine. So, okay.
Ah, there's that. Okay, so we did do that. Well, I quit doing that at the beginning of the year. I got a new logo, and I've actually the last logo I didn't even own, so I own this one now. I launched a website, acutemanualive.com, if you want to check it out. And I wanted to get rid of the wieners because I was sick of talking about wieners. You know, like and it was his thing. He's moved out. I just didn't care anymore. So since I do a lot of Google Earthing, I was like, landmarks would be a good thing, but landmarks that I can't find on Google Earth or that I can't find on a website. That only people where they live know about,
Ooh.
And maybe you just take it for granted because you see it all the time, or and it doesn't have to be funny, it doesn't have to be strange. Like in Chicago, there's literally a fountain. It says it on the side. It says "shit fountain," and it's a pile of shit, and it's a fountain. Yeah, I mean seriously. In Amsterdam, there's a Santa Claus. In Rotterdam, Amsterdam, there's a Santa Claus in the middle of town that. They say he's holding a Christmas tree. No, it's a butt plug. Everybody knows a butt plug. It looks exactly like a butt plug, if you know what a butt plug looks like. And there's what really statues were trending for like a really long time on this when I first started doing this. And the guys in it's not Worcester, it's Worcester, Massachusetts. In the middle of town, there's a statue of a boy and a turtle. Okay. And let's just say they're having fun.
Oh no!
Yeah, and it's been there for years.
I just performed in Worcester, Mass. I think right before or after Clarksburg.
Well,
was that same tour?
You had to have seen it. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on where you were in town, but yeah, you could buy
drive in the dark, do the show, and drive out in the dark. So
it's called Turtle Boy, and it's up on the it's so things like that. Just things that like nobody would really know about unless they were around there or have been through there. I started looking up, because I'll do my own little research about the area, but Sandpoint, Idaho is very close to Ruby Ridge, and I did not know that.
I see the statue. I just Google image.
Yes, isn't that hilarious? Actually, Invisible Rob did that show with me. That's funny. He posted that show. But yeah, how do people? They're having a lot of fun.
One of them is.
Yeah, I think they're both having fun. They both have smiles on their face.
That expression on the turtle's face is not one of submission.
But it looks like he's having a great time. But it's just and it's crazy. I'm gonna do some kind of a contest at the end of the year on who has the best one of these things. I mean, the shit fountain is a great one, and the Turtle Boy is a great one, and the butt plug Santa, and I mean, there's just so many good ones. But there's also there's buildings and things that are of significance, even that could be in a different category.
Yeah.
So, but I did look up Sandpoint, Utah, or Sandpoint, Idaho, right?
Idaho, yep.
Where you are, and the only thing I could find, and I didn't look on any of the sites that I usually look at to try to find something odd. I was just Google Earthing. But very near there is Ruby Ridge.
Yeah.
Which is not really anything funny or anything, but it's people that don't know, it was back in like 92, I think, something like that, in the 90s, with Randy Weaver. It was the Weaver family when they defended their they thought they were defending their turf from U.S. Marshals, but Randy had a warrant because he threatened the president and several other people. But yeah, I didn't know that was that close by to you.
Yeah, I believe the FBI shot they shot first.
They shot it at Harris, the boy that was visiting, and hit him, but it also hit the wife and killed her immediately.
And she was like holding their baby too.
Yeah.
But there's that whole story is pretty wild if you watch some of the documentaries on it. There's actually been some that are very that aren't one-sided. I felt like it painted a really clear picture of both sides, and yeah, I think he had a warrant for his arrest because he sold a shotgun that was like slightly too short to a Fed or something, and that's a whole different thing. But yeah, that was a sad turn.
But apparently it's still there. But on Google Earth, all you see is like a foundation because, and then I Wikipedia'd it, and that's pretty much all that's there. Is just the remains of the place. They tore everything down for probably for evidence or whatever, but it's
Cover up the
definitely
evidence.
like on the side of a hill. Like it's definitely on a ridge. I mean, like
Yeah.
it'd probably take a minute to get there, but you know.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can think of in your area? I mean, it could be in the entire state of Idaho or anywhere really, because I mean you've traveled many places, so I'll give you the leniency of everywhere.
You know, we have an interesting, if we're going the statue route, as a landmark, we have a miniature Statue of Liberty at our city beach, and it's pretty cool looking. If you look up Sandpoint Statue of Liberty,
Okay.
it's beautiful. It's just it's the picture you had in the waiting room on YouTube is the background. In fact, you could probably look at that picture and see the statue down there if you zoomed way in. But you know, I live on one of the most beautiful lakes in the world, and we have a ski resort that feeds right into the water. We have it's just really a beautiful place, and and as you can tell by the Randy Weaver thing, we believe in freedom up here, and and kind of live and let live. And we don't want a lot
Very
of
green
people.
Statue of Liberty though. My goodness, I think it's green.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have the acid rain here, so.
Oh,
But yeah, I would say that's a pretty beautiful statue.
There's another one of those miniature Statue of Liberties that I believe it's when I had the band on from Philly. It's somewhere in the middle of the river. There's like a rock formation that rises out of the middle of the river, and somebody had like craned this thing because you can't. You would have to be a skilled climber to get to the. It's a cliff side basically, but the top of it's flat and has like a little miniature forest on top of it. But at the end of on the point of that, they put the Statue of Liberty up there.
Oh, that's cool.
Know. I'd have to compare it to see what like the size of this one to that one. I don't know, but that's pretty cool though. It's
not real big, but it's neat. And it's a good reminder for people that live up here of just kind of the Liberty values. It's actually is kind of sad because this is the Death of Liberty statue.
What? Oh, I see
And this is by
that's awesome.
An artist, Jack of the Dust. If you look him up on Instagram, and
that's awesome.
I felt it was fitting for our times. So
well, yeah, because it's Is it heavy? It seems like it'd be heavy.
It's got some weight to it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't usually buy art, but I saw this. I was like, that's cool. And so these I did on the back, this board here. I mounted that. This was actually a cutting board from Home Depot. And I made the stand for it.
There you go.
And there's 13 bullets in the back representing the 13 colonies. And yeah, so just kind of I was able to add to it a little bit in a way that seemed meaningful. But
I don't know what size shirt you wear, and I'll get you the right size if I need to. But I have these new. You can't really see it because it's in plastic still. It hasn't been opened, but it's the new logo and everything. I'd like to send it out to you. I wasn't able to get a shirt when you guys came here, so I want to swap shirts with you.
All right, man. I love it.
Yeah, this is a large. I know. I don't know if you wear a large.
I do wear a large. You wear a large?
I will get this out to you then with some stickers.
Right.
I have, of course, I have some new ones coming, or some more coming, but and I don't know. Do you have any tattoos? I can't remember. I think you do.
I do.
Well, these are temporary, so you don't have to keep them on you at all times. I will send you some of those. Perfect. And I don't think I ordered any more keychains. I did keychains there for a little bit, but they're kind of pricey, and I don't really have the budget right now. So, fine, you can't have one.
It's the way it goes.
But I can't remember if I did or not. I have to look at my order form and see if I did. But this Saturday is I was telling you about this before we went live. Is awesome. I can't believe that this is finally happening. This show has just been nuts, and it's so rewarding, and it's crazy that I know you. I've met you in person. It's crazy that the band I had on from London 3 times, I've met them twice in person. And just recently, I met them again. They came over and they're on tour in the United States still, and it's crazy that I'm almost at show 300.
That's awesome.
This is at the end of July. It'll be year 4.
Crazy.
Does this end? No, it doesn't. Not as long as I'm alive, it doesn't end. I will do this in a walker. I will do this with Alzheimer's if I have to. I will do that. It's so much fun, and I get to meet so many cool people. Most of them I probably will never be able to shake hands with, in person, but it's okay because, just this hour of interaction is badass, and some of the coolest people I've ever met in my life have been on the show, and it's just, it's awesome.
It's super cool, man. I appreciate getting to come on your show. It's always fun to catch up with you and share adventures and stories. And there's
so much we could talk about too. Like I still have way more questions. We needed to talk more about the bird tricks and stuff, but you'll just have to come back like next week.
Sounds good.
or mid-flight. I don't know. I
have a way to record now inside of my helmet. We bought comm systems that I can talk back and forth with the guys we're flying with. They work okay, but you can record the conversations. And so anyway, that was my plan, is to do that. But I started doing real dynamic flight stuff and really pushing my.
I'd rather you focus on safety.
Yeah, if I just jumped and I'm flying straight and flat, then that's different. But when an opportunity comes out to train with some of the best dudes in the world, so I was flying with Braden Rose. Same
he's cool. I still follow him. Yeah,
same guy that was in my Falcon stunt, and so he was out here last couple of days, and so we're flipping around, flying around each other, and just I'm learning new skills. He's a pro, but I'm still trying to get better. And
tell him I said hello for sure. I haven't talked to him for a while. I try to keep update on everybody's thing, but you know how that is. You can't.
Yeah,
you can't
272 shows. That's tough.
Yeah. Well, it's learning experience for every time. It's a learning experience. But Tracy said, "Proud of you, Scott and David. You are amazing." No, you're amazing, Tracy. I don't know how you respond to things like that, but she cooked this big dinner and she put it on Facebook and she didn't even invite me. Can you believe that?
Oh,
she's a great cook.
Well, speaking of great cook, I am going to go enjoy.
Yes, your salmon's going to go back to the sea and swim. Thanks, Dave, for being on. You don't have to stick on here. We can say goodbye for now and come back. What do you have up your sleeve? Do you have another big event, stunt coming up, like the Falcon thing, real quick?
I'm actually just kind of trying to get my pilot's license done this summer, so that's really the next thing. So I was working on it for a while. I got about 100 hours, but I just got busy, and I've got a window in the schedule where I'm home. So I'm going to try to knock that out and just get all the book work done and do my check ride and be a pilot.
Real quick, give everybody your socials and your where they can see your stuff. Yeah,
the best spot to find me is on Instagram at Thrillusionist. So as you see in the background, it's just illusionist with THR at the front, Thrillusionist. You could find me on YouTube a little bit. My wife's in my channel is Bird Tricks on YouTube, or you can find us at Bird Tricks Official on Instagram, and you get a little glimpse into our life and kind of what we do outside of well, really, if you're looking at both those accounts, you're going to be like, okay, this guy free dives, whatever. We live a pretty crazy life and love what we do. So it's just fun to live the most out of every day. And so between those socials there, people will be able to check it out.
Badass. Awesome. Send me your snail mail again. Anyway, Instagram or whatever. And I'll send you the stuff out. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll be back Saturday with the crazy local news people, but I'll be interviewing them first because Lauren's a singer-songwriter, and they'll be performing live here on the show. So that'll be badass. Be a fun time. Next Saturday at 5 p.m. I believe 5 p.m. Yep, 5 p.m. Thanks,
awesome.
Dave.
Thank you, man. Always good to see you.
Take care. Everybody else, I am going to play us out of the show with a band that I just kind of found from Wilmington. I can't even talk now. Wilmington, North Carolina. They're called Shadow Signals, and I've asked them to be on the show, and I think they're going to be on, so that'll be fun whenever that happens. But I will see you guys on Saturday with Lauren Winans and Seth Maynard, and they'll be performing. And here is Shadow Signals with Every Little Lie. We'll see you. Have a great weekend. The weekend's over. Have a great night. Right, Invisible Rob? Cool. All right. We'll see you.
How can you erase this and not expect the hatred that's been torn from me? Sleepless nights and days have been pulling me astray, and I'm pushing